So good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank you very much for the participation on these discussions and debates that we have started with the Virtual Exchange Program Impact in collaboration with Hellenic Mediterranean University and the Athena European University and all of you. It is very important to have, some communication channels and discuss challenges that our colleagues of us all over the world they face, and how we can help each other and how we can announce the problems in order to facilitate their solution. So this week we are grateful and thanks very much. I can see Dick Van Merode is here, for the introduction with Galyna. Galyna, I cannot pronounce. Galyna, I'm sorry, you will say your surname because I cannot pronounce it. Galyna. Galyna is a professor of software tools department at the National University of Zaporizhzhia Polytechnic in Ukraine. She will share with us her experience of moving away from the university and working at different European institutions because of the war. She will describe to us how it is to coordinate various projects with her Ukrainian partners being scattered all over the Europe and to their students. So the title of her talk is Support to the Ukrainian Universities. I'm very grateful that I have, since this initiative, I'm studying a lot about this topic. And the purpose is like to write a report with you in order, to make it public to European authorities that, I'm in Europe and I would like, the European universities to collaborate and help to solve a lot of such difficult situations. The floor is to Galyna. Galyna, thank you again for your contribution and sharing with us your thoughts, and I will appreciate a lot also your suggestions, how we can help, how we can collaborate for you and your students in order, to have better moments on the future. The floor is yours. Thank you, Galyna.
Thank you very much for invitation me to make this speech for today. And because it is really important to cooperate in this complicated time, and considering that I'm working for some time in international projects, it's always important to see which challenges we have nowadays and how we can jointly manage with them. So this is what I would like to tell today. I would like to consider the challenges which I have met during the fulfilling the international projects during these 2 years, and to state what challenges do we really have, and how we could, with further collaboration, try to manage with it. And I'm also very happy to see some old friends here with whom we are cooperating with in projects. Yes, Braha, Nava, Dirk. So it's really happy to see you here too, because it's really a lack of time. We're all in complicated situation. I'm happy to see that you are also safe. So it's very important for me too. So, as it was already said, that I am professor in Zaporizhzhia Polytechnic University, and I'm also now working as a researcher in Fachhochschule Dortmund, Germany. That also helps me to manage the projects and think about how we could help further and more so Ukrainian citizens. So the plan was first about myself, then experience, and like what we could done more. Shortly about me, as I already introduced myself, so I was always working in software engineering, and for last 10 years, a bit more, I'm working in international projects and in cooperation with our European partners, and not only European, also Israeli partners. We are trying to move our educational system, yes, for the best future. At least we was trying to do our best during this last 10 years. But Kostas asked me the question, and I urgently add some slides about Zaporizhzhia and Zaporizhzhia region. So Zaporizhzhia region is quite big region with quite huge industry accumulated in this region. You can see from the slide that there was before war, this information before war, yes, it was 160 industrial enterprises. They work in the energy, in electronics, in metallurgy, in machine construction industry, in food industry. So different types of machinery as well. So it's also has had a very big agricultural area and quite big density of persons in this area. What we have now, I have added this slide. So this is the Zaporizhzhia region, and you can see that it consists from sub-regions. Yes, and here you can see this is just like a few seconds ago is made the screen of the war map. And you see that despite all Putin's wishes, yes, he put Zaporizhzhia region in his constitution. Yes, they claimed that they already have Zaporizhzhia itself, but it's not so. Yes, 80–90% it's the fights are still there, so it's moving. The front line is moving. It's flexible, so it's occupied. And yes, our harbors in Berdyansk occupied. Our wind electric wind station occupied. Yes, you know that our hydroelectric station had attacks last weeks. So this is for sure influence on the economic state of the region. Also, the big agricultural part in here in Takmak region, in in the Melitopolsky region, so it's also occupied. You can see that generally, like in Orekhovsky region, there is hard fights, so they are constantly, and in Orekhovsky region is suffered most of all. Orekhovsky and Takmaks now from war. The cities are completely demolished. They are part of the city. So this is two regions which the mostly suffered from the front line nowadays. But these regions, save Zaporizhzhia and Zaporizhzhia region, Zaporizhzhia sub-region, this is what keep, so these hard fights here keep our part more safely. And this Novomykolaiv region, it's close to Donetsk region, and that's why like here is also a lot of suffering from the constant front line. So this is, and I think everyone is in news knowing the situation with our nuclear power station, yes, which is now also in occupied territory in Energodar. It is named Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station. That's why like Zaporizhzhia is in use all the time, but it is located in the city Energodar. So it's here you see Nikopol, so this is red dot covered the place where is Energodar. So Zaporizhzhia is not occupied, but it is located near front line, and we should remember it. And this also causes these difficulties and challenges which we have now. Zaporizhzhia city, how it was looked like before the war. Yes, so like we have industry, which I have already announced, and what is good that, for example, Zaporizhzhia Transformator, Преобразователь, Motor-Сичи, and R&D Progress are still working and functioning. Despite also like a few months ago, there was a big attack on Motor-Сичи, and there were a lot of casualties because like it was working day, people was on premises in the it was not highly in the news, but it was very disappointing and very stressful for us all. But it still continue working. Our metal still company also working, and so like as I told, our transformator and so electrical engineering also working. They are still located in Zaporizhzhia. So this is about our Motor-Сичи. It's still working on engines, yes, and helicopters. So this is the main industry which left. The departments which was doing with this medical equipment, which was working together with Israel, they have visited it. It's not functioning now, despite it is a very important part of nowadays life, but now they closed this production. And also the terrestrial units are also this because of the stakeholders, this also closed this production nowadays. So this was about my university. It was before war situation, yes. So we have 5 institutes, departments, students, health centers, and sanatorium. Generally, the most suffered. So what could be expected, and it is not so that universities suffered and like we have lack of students. This is not so. So this is what was expected, that because of the war we will have less students. This never happened. We have more students because online education. So our regions, which are located near the front line, so we are teaching online. And as the popularity of Ukraine migrated, locally migrated, externally migrated, so it's still, like in Europe, there is still big problems with recognition of our educational level. So that's why we not have decrease of students, we have highly increase of students. So this is what we have now. We have near 15,000. It is not here now. We have near 15,000 students studying in our university. The mostly suffering from educational point of view, we have 8 colleges in the region, and generally all these territories are occupied. This means that the colleges moved to the premises of university. They are not located in Berdyansk, Tokmak, Orekhov. So they are now located, but like students are not moved. So like this is these structural units as university college, they suffered with the students, with the location, so with the situation. So they really suffered. So this is like the most challenging point nowadays. So this is shortly about situation in Zaporizhzhia and Zaporizhzhia region. What about funding? So during these 2 complicated years, as I have told that I'm located now in Germany, we have a very strong support by DAD, especially it is support for Ukrainian universities. It was nice that some cooperation started before war. This helped us greatly, and you can see that we had installed already infrastructure between Fachhochschule Dortmund, where I am located, and 3 Ukrainian universities. It is Kiev, 4, in the end it was 4. So Kiev National University of Construction, it was from the first, and West Ukrainian University, and later Lviv Polytechnic National University also joined our community. So we have a joint educational infrastructure. And this helps us greatly to especially the first year 2022, which was a completely disaster. Nobody knows how to run, how to work, how to implement. So we worked together. So we had so based on this infrastructure, we have 3 projects running, 2022, 2024. And within these projects, we have different types of support. For example, like in virtual master cooperation, we started before war. We have block weeks for the academic and students. And as I told you that our students and our staff are now located worldwide. These block weeks appeared very important, like especially first years, because like some students, they was enrolled and they never saw each other. And sometimes they saw their group mates exactly here in Germany. First time they have possibility for on-site communication with their own group mates, like, so this was increasing, this was amazingly, and that's motivate them, like this is generally what motivated them to come. Okay, we're studying together in one group, we see each other only online for a while, and yes, we're located someone in Germany, someone in Poland, someone in Czech, so they came here and as students of our university and could cooperate together on premises, not online. The same for the staff. It's also very important to share, like, because those staff who is located in European countries, they faced migration processes which are very complicated. Those staff who are located in Ukraine, they faced so like those who are located in Zaporizhzhia region, they faced these challenges of consulate in Zaporizhzhia. We have jokes. What is the difference between Kiev and Zaporizhzhia? Yes, in Kiev you heard first alarm, and then you hear explosion. In Zaporizhzhia, you first hear explosion, and then there is come alarm. So this is such closeness to the, so like general, like this alarm nowadays never stopped, like, because it's constant, and it's also putting pressure on your everyday activities, having these alarms on you. It's not, it's different in different regions of Ukraine, and this is how it works in Zaporozhye. Those colleagues who are located in other cities in Ukraine, they also faced the challenges of local migration. And, like, but nobody understands that others have challenges. And meeting during these weeks, block weeks, this gives also for academic staff to communicate and understand that we all have challenges. And this is, any situation is not easy. And don't blame each other for for being ignorant maybe to problem of others. So they all exist. So this gives these possibilities to communicate. We had other but this is for mobility and for the development of the modules, but this is modules in English, like before these block weeks, which was claimed before the war. During this beginning of the war, we had this VMOOC project, also very good because it gives honorars for students in Ukraine for the research work, It was very small, but it was really supportive for them, and it was very nice. Like I still have some students who was bachelor. They some writing me, are there any other research tasks which we could do now, because we don't. Someone can't leave Ukraine, someone don't want to leave Ukraine, but and they like to have some income, and it was very supportive. So like students and academic staff get funding for developing and teaching in Ukraine. So in Ukrainian language for Ukrainian. So this is a different accent, because no, everyone can't speak English. Everyone can't speak German. Yes, so this is Ukraine is 90% of Ukrainians are speaking Ukrainian, and this is the issue that it is nice to have such support for Ukrainian population from external support. And we have this Ukrainian for Digitrans. This gives possibilities for long-term mobilities. We have a double diploma, and the students we don't have really double diploma with between National University Zaporizhzhia Polytechnic and Fachhochschule Dortmund, but students can be enrolled and continue education here in a master program, so they complete. So this also gives them more external opportunities, like some part of this education could be funded. I have made shortly also outcomes, yes, so that students have possibility to communicate. Students could have possibility to participate in a regular process, not only online. Yes, two universities in our partnership, Lviv and Ternopil, they have education on premises. KNUGA and NUZP doesn't have this luck. So that's why it was very important to have this opportunity. Also, as I told, there was motivation for students to do research work and also to support staff mobility. Running Erasmus ECM mobility, I have a network, yes, and which was collected during these years, and there was also big challenges during the last 2 years. So the main problem is that generally it's become different. So it is managing these mobilities. There are differences with communicating female and male students. So the problem is with female students is that it's usually you need to speak additionally to the parents, which generally afraid to let their girls to go abroad, just even they need to cross Ukraine, like from Zaporizhzhia, they need to reach the border. And even this part makes them frightening, and you're working as psychologists, trying to convince, and to talk with them. So girls prefer to go in pairs, with other girlfriend, because so not alone. And this helps also to communicate with parents. And generally, it's much easier to convince them to come for 2 weeks than to come for the whole semester. So it was like first you convince them to come for 2 weeks, for 1 week, then for 2 weeks, and maybe then they participate in ECM. So this is how it works. Male students. With male students, it's also on my next slide. There are in Ukraine strict national regulations that male popularity of the country from 16 to 60 are not allowed to leave the country without so if they are don't have any other special regulations. So and for students till May this year, male students can't leave the country. They changed these rules, but they changed it very shortly. They changed the rules that only bachelor students from 18 to 22 could now leave the country to fulfill this ECM mobility. But yeah, I have now a student who are going to the Kayolovan. Yes, so we have agreed to this bachelor student. I have this list of full requirements. So we found this student who fulfill all requirements. So this is like big list from ministry. And then like I'm expecting that like we also have this regulation for the male staff. So the Ministry of Education is giving support letter to the border. And Ministry of Education now telling me we are not giving any supporting letter. You just like need to have all these corb with papers at the border, and then the border control will make decision if they will let you go or not. I requested to the National Erasmus Plus office. I requested to big universities, policymakers, Lviv Polytechnic, Lviv Franco University, Kiev Polytechnic. So, and like, tell me, anyone already have success story from March? I want success story, you know, like, so this is what exactly we should have. And I'm sorry to tell, today is 20th of June. I hadn't received any success story. So this is the, still an issue. If I would be very happy to tell that like our students will reach K11 and will have this success story, because so that he could participate within this mobility. So, and the other very important moment that University International Department, you know, like it depends on international students. We don't have any incoming international students, so it's also working in this alarm resource situation. So they also need support, and they need all types of support, educational, cooperational, they need support, informational, you know, like, so this is what is highly required, this support for international departments in this situation, because they don't have it, you know, like, so everything, a lot of things are done manually because of like some big enthusiast in my university. This is our chief engineer. She's a really great enthusiast, so, and she's managing, but it's amazingly crazy. So to summarize this short DAD and long ECM issues, what do we have? Male students, unclear regulations, and still can't participate. There is also from 2024, I have new challenge even for girls who are coming. For example, Germany and Belgium, they required now visa, long-term visa, you know, like, and this is the question is that there is no embassy in Ukraine. So this means that they should go to the nearest country. In our case, this is Poland, and to apply to the visa there. Then let's look at the city. Even for example, for girls, it could be possible, despite this is costly. You need to go to other country to apply for visa, yes, and then to return. But to look for the boys, we have exemption for the boys from 18 to 22 to go abroad for the mobility, but they should apply for visa. But question is they don't have exemption to leave the country to apply for visa. So, and this is also still, I don't have any solution by now, and I don't have any, you know, like good practice example. This is what we managed to do. They are coming in Belgium and Ukraine and receiving this protection any case. So they're not applying for the studying visa. They're having this protection issue in this country. Yes, and just like when they finish education, they close this protection status. So this is how it runs. The question is for the staff. Oh, sorry. For the staff, as I told you, staff has the possibility for mobility, and male staff as well. The system is working nicely, and generally it's working. We're already for 1 year or more. Our staff, male staff, going abroad to the business trip with the support letters from the ministry. It's working very nice. But universities are all the time in the risks, and already two my universities who are our partners have facing this risk. As I told you, the rector applied to the ministry, and ministry giving the support letter to the border control, and the staff are not returning. So rectors are under the risks that they promise to the ministry that the staff will return to Ukraine. And after such cases, then ministry blocking this male mobility for these universities. So this is the high risks for the university management, and so this is like additional, so this is risks already for Ukrainian management, like, so this is not only for the academics. So management, because they are rectors, they also have their responsibilities, they have and they are under risk. Yes, so to have punishment because like supporting mobility, staff is not returning, and then there could be like sanctions towards universities. So this also could be. Motivation, sorry again. So motivation. With this constant war situation, students not always understanding why they need to have this international experience. And this is also an issue. The problem is that it is complicated to reach students to explain, like, so they are under war, they're volunteering, they're making volunteering work, they're finding job online, like, so they're volunteering for the army, and because they are, like, it's very easy, like they are friends, they are families, they are, of course, they are, like studying, working, volunteering. So this is all together. And now it's new challenge to explain why do they need this international experience, how it will influence their future work, their current work. It's complicated and they don't see it. And one of the other things that I could easily find mobility for the technical students. Yes, wanted uh, everyone wanted software engineering, material engineering, electrical engineering, but I have a lot of requests from journalists, from tourism, because we have still these departments, like, and there it is quite complicated. Lawyers, like, so there it's quite complicated to find these mobility possibilities for them, like, and so this is other challenge from my side. This was the educational infrastructure. Maybe I just like already skip it now. So I am also coordinator of the big Erasmus Plus project. Yes, and because the project has 3 Ukrainian universities, 3 Azerbaijan university, 3 European university. We had this 1 million budget, and because of the war, we extended the duration from 3 to 4 years. We had our objectives, yes, and the main objectives was to be ready for this global labor market world. Yes, so was our, and based on this main our objective, yes, we developing our learning modules. We have our communication practices. We have we plan to make this co-production lab. So, and for sure to train the trainers. And this is the list of outcomes which I wanted to reach within our project. And one of the way how we were planning to mitigate all the risks which could appear. This is agile approach for the project management. So like all process are agile. So here I put the risks which we have put in the logical matrix framework. As I understand, here is everyone from the projects, yes, which was put when we was writing the projects, yes. And what we thought about political and economic instability, about legislation, about accreditation, about curricula, about certification, but in general, uh, a lot of these risks really happens because of the war. It would never happen if it was not war. Because like I put it here, what was real risks and hazards during this 2 years. So legislation for human and financial management. First, what happened, there was a blocked WEA coordinator. Money is located in our university, and first was happened, we were not allowed to transfer money abroad. So this was it was a lot of communication between Erasmus Plus office and ESCA. And they made this communication with the ministry. Finally, they allowed to transfer money to our European partners and Azerbaijan partners inside Ukraine. Everything was possible. But from last year, we had a new issue. The European European banks not accepting money from the Zaporizhzhia region, because like it is put in this packet sanction that the Zaporizhzhia region is occupied, so it's not allowed. But Zaporizhzhia is not occupied, and the bank is National Bank of Ukraine. So we need to make this additional letter, because like money returned, like we transfer it to our European partners after reporting period, and money coming back. So we made this, so it's required another management. As financial management, I thought that mobility requirements becomes a special issue because of this sex and age restriction for the male staff and students, because it also took time to manage with it. Motivation changed. First year, all motivation was in volunteering work, so students doesn't want to think about something else, so they need to be concentrated. Staff also relocated, they need to survive. It's still happening, and it's still a problem. Damage of the infrastructure. So you remember that in our project there, like Kyiv University, which suffered greatly infrastructure in the beginning of the war, like later our university suffered greatly from the missile attack, the damage of the infrastructure. And generally we don't have we have our shelters, but we don't have enough mobile infrastructure which could be relocated into shelters to make this remote study. And the students are also online, so it's quite complicated to understand with whom you are really working and who are really located in Zaporizhzhia, because it's complicated to know real location of the students. It's 50% liar. They will never tell you. The same with academic stuff. So it's everything complicated. Mobility plan. For example, travel to Azerbaijan, and we have 2+2. Yes, this is like typical mobility plan, or like 5+2, or 3+2 days for mobility. But it takes at least 2 days in the best case to reach anywhere. It's not 1 day. So it's at least we are going. So there is no planes in Ukraine. So it at least take 24 hours to cross the border. But this is minimum. So it's from 1 to 2 days. It depends on the means of transport you are using. So, and only then you need to find connection flight or connection transport to the distance point. So it's never done in 1 day. It's 2-3 days, only one side transport. And I can't find any solution with the project officers how to deal it. Project is funding 2+2, and that 2-day meetings and 5-day traveling is also just like motivation for the colleagues. Yes, how to convince them to travel 6 days of travel of 2 days of meeting. It's very motivating. Yes. So this is a very important challenge which we are facing nowadays because of this work condition, and it can't be changed. By now, very hard to reach the target groups. Extremely hard, as I already told that you never know where is actually located staff and students. They are all the time migrating and taking place to Europe, to Ukraine, inside Ukraine, to Zaporizhzhia, and etc. So this is The same with the business. So we have this, any case, we are, like, in our Erasmus projects, we're always looking at this university business, yes, research, this triangle. And sorry, but business now not putting a lot in research. They are surviving. That's why research also suffering. That's why it's important to have, if you want to keep facilities, you want to keep research center, it should be universities, because business is busy. And a lot of like businesses with whom we started cooperation in the beginning of the process, their goals changes during when they were started. It's also like they don't thinking about digital transformation, they are thinking about survival. So this is, of course, now it's again changed, but for those who have changed profile, who found their way to run their business, who found the other companies abroad, also a lot of installed, but it takes time. So it's not one day process. And also we have big delays because of these bureaucracy changes and damage of the energy system of Ukraine. This is like all processes at least twice longer than they are. And also considering that the country is in the war status, and a lot of are working in the critical production, we have this is also making a restriction for the business cooperation, like this security and safety restrictions. So like of course we have enterprises which are still functioning, but they are working in critical industry, so they have this you can't cooperate publicly, which is Erasmus requirement, total publicity, and they can't go for even for the public master bachelor thesis if we are giving students there. So this is also an issue which I suppose we still need to find the way to how to challenge. So I'm generally I think I was told that I have 1 hour, so but I think I'm a bit faster. So what else could be done considering all this for Ukrainian university? Despite it is done already a lot and it's continuing to be done, but I still sure that it should continue to be going. Language support. So these educational courses of European languages, of English language. So this should be continuously running. So this shouldn't be stopped. Because this is also the way of cultural issues, and like the also the staff, like those staff who has these competencies moved abroad. The staff who are left in Ukraine doesn't have these competencies. We need the staff with language competencies. This is very important. This is also, like a lot of funding is placed outside Ukraine, despite okay, it is war. But I suppose that, as I told you, in the beginning of the war, there appeared a lot of students abroad. But now, because also of the restriction, a lot of students are stayed inside Ukraine. And for example, like Kharkiv, Kherson, Zaporizhzhia, they are working online. And the students are never met. It is nice to have funding for such students inside Ukraine, as they can't leave it, to make face-to-face schools in Lviv, Ternopil, Uzhgorod. So in the safe part of the Ukraine where there are no so where is less okay, missiles flying all over Ukraine, but there is a region with less risks as this near border, and it is important to have for the students from Kharkiv, Zaporizhzhia, Kherson possibilities to go there and have their training. Also, it is on-site actual summer winter schools continue for Ukrainian students. Yes, it is complicated to reach them. Yes, it is complicated to find a male student, but this is not the reason to give up because as I told you, we have only increase of students. because of refugees, because of migration, because of online education. So university number of students are not decreased, despite our ministry is doing a lot to decrease it. So there we still have a lot of students, and it is nice. So it is possible, and it is really good to have for them opportunities to go abroad and to see this international experience, to gain this international experience. To have funding for the remote research activities for master and PhD students. As I told it, it was a very good practice at the beginning of the war of DAD funding. It was very limited and not repeated, but it was really nice to, like we have funding, so like you are searching for funding inside Europe, but it could be nice to have this funding inside Ukraine, and it could really motivate the researchers inside Ukraine. There are still scientific schools, and they are working, and they are effective. And yes, they can't leave the country. It could be nice to find to them funding there. Infrastructural projects which are not sustainable. This is what we always need to prove to ECA, that all we buy should be sustainable, and like we can't purchase licenses because it is not sustainable, that we can't purchase Amazon services because it is not sustainable, we can't make subscription to digital resources because it is not sustainable. But this is what we really need. We can't generally like purchasing equipment which will be destroyed by the missile attack. This is not sustainable. So we have nowadays other sustainability in Ukraine. I'm sorry, because maybe it's looking great for you, but this is what we have now. This is also very important. It is like business represent business master classes from European business to give possibilities for Ukrainian staff students to see that what they are doing inside Ukraine is really interesting for cooperation within the European businesses. And for example, also I put the last point because we have so schools are also working online, a lot of schools in Ukraine. So primary schools in Zaporizhzhia region moved on site, but not all schools have these shelters. We have in our university, these kids universities, and like a lot of universities now have this to work with the scholars last year scholars, and this is also requires infrastructure and support. So this is school activities that they are running on the university's premises to support this because the school also online. This is also my younger daughter is studying online, so in 2 schools. So it's also online, and the teachers not always have possibilities to give all material. Schools don't have their facilities, and it is nice that university can provide it, and it's also could be nice to provide support to such summer or winter schools for scholars on the university premises. So this is what I have put as the ways for possible cooperation. And this is my email. You can always write me and ask questions if you have. This was just to show you that I was talking a lot. So that to see that this is mobilities for staff students from our universities, which was done through 22, 23, 24. This was like students which was in Europe was having funding here inside also for continuation, and there are still mobilities we found, and male and female. Male, it was those who was moved to Europe before war. Female girls, there was so it's still, this is list sent from me by our international department. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Thank you very much, Galyna. Very clear, and I like it very much that you had concrete list of challenges, and this helps me, at least myself, in order to make some proposals on how we can help. But I will provide first the floor to the audience if you have any questions, any comments regarding Galyna's presentation. We don't have a lot of time before we finish, so I would like to suggest you, Galyna, the following things that I think that we can help. At least, I can help through my university, but as a project as well, impact, which is like regarding virtual exchanges. I think that what we can organize pretty soon is like, some virtual exchanges between European and non-European students, impact students, with the students from Ukraine in some debates, on some discussions that we can initiate for your students to practice, their English proficiency. This is something that we can do. It's up. Yes, please.
It's very nice. Thank you. Because I forgot, generally it was not from my project, but I had this experience, and thank you. I had this experience. I took my elder daughter to my business trip to France. She at that time was student of the KPI University, Kiev Polytechnic University, and the colleague from the Lyon School of Economic, he has this European integrity class, and he put Dasha for communication. Okay, it was face-to-face communication, and it was extremely useful for both, like she was asking the questions which are painful for her being Ukrainian students, and see their reactions, so they could ask questions which sometimes painful, which they can't find, which they can't ask us elders, and for which we can't give answers because of political and other issues. And when students communicate between them on their level, it's I remember that it was some shock for my daughter, but from the other side, it gives her the push for communication. Thank you very much. I have this experience, and I suppose this could really work.
It is up to you to tell us what topics you would like us to discuss, what kind of debates you would like us to organize, and I will do it. So send me an email, like even with one topic, and I will start it. This is one thing. The second thing that we organize, I think, I don't know if Elena Mistrahi, that she's like Ukrainian origin, if I remember well. She's organizing, some online, debates and some online courses in artificial intelligence and the impact of the artificial intelligence with her students. Also, this is something that is running right now, and it will be a good opportunity for impact also to get engaged with Ukrainian students, just, to practice, get aware of the impact of AI in the higher education, and this could be a field for them to discuss and practice, their English proficiency. I don't know if Elena is here. It looks like here. If she's not, unmute herself, I have no idea. It will remind me my students. But, it's up to you, Galyna. Send me one topic, and I will start immediately. The other thing that, I would like to organize, and probably Nava can help on this, and Ellie, that they are coming from the entrepreneurship point, they are entrepreneurs as well, is to organize, let's say, in July or, in September, some meetings with European and non-European entrepreneurs in order to speak with your students about what they are doing or what, the market is looking for, in order to discuss with Ukrainian students that, this what they are doing is relevant, what this will change, also to be discussed with European and non-European entrepreneurs. So this can be done as well. I mean,
it can be as a workshop,
a workshop, a debate, whatever, just, to start, because she mentioned this during her talk. Another thing that I will try to convince my national agency, I have a meeting with them next week, is like to press, European Commission. Also, because of this situation, the ICM mobilities also to be supported by virtual mobilities. I mean, listening you and, thinking of the crisis that the country is facing, your males, your females, they should say, they should defend also their countries. So virtual mobility should be introduced in order, these mobilities to happen. Physical, even better. But also for the implementation of the projects, I think virtual mobility should be an option without reducing your, your grants, because this also takes an effort. And now I have my question, and my question is like, I can see also another impact of the European degree that we are discussing a lot right now in Europe, homogenization of, the studies within Europe or even beyond Europe, let's say in regulated professions like engineers, could avoid issues like recognition of studies. So if we had, these European degrees and, the studies regarding regulated profession could be very similar all over the world, then, we can face, this kind of crisis like war. The students, they can go to Europe and they can continue their studies in a curricula that they are very similar in both sides. So I can see even more the impact and the added value of the European degree. I can make you, for the people that they are not from European zone, I can make you a presentation about the European degree, but Tatiana has followed, a recent presentation that we have done, and you can see here the added value of the European degree. Similar curricula can solve a lot of issues, and they can be a defense line on these things. So you don't have, difficulties for your students to continue their studies in both of the borders. So this is what I would like to say. My question is the following, Galyna, for you now. So please, respond to me. Send me one sentence. I would like to do this and I will do it on the topics that I committed. But I have a question for you. What is the role of science for the restructuring of Ukraine on the next day?
Science is that is keeping academic staff alive.
Okay. All right.
So this is what because this is what you can notice that, for example, like during last years there is like even more publications. There is like this is what keeping us that is what keeping us the stimul which makes us surviving as academicians, because all these challenges, unclear situation, this management, this is the governmental, the restructuring of the higher education, so this is all the time complicated. And when researchers have science, they could focus on it, he could assemble the students around him, and yes, it is his small world, but this small world keeping him alive, and this is keeping university alive, so this is my personal opinion.
Excellent. Okay, from my side, these are my inputs. Also, this, request about virtual exchange in debates that we can organize between European students not from Europe, also goes to Katerina Boychenko. And also, if you need some courses, you are missing some courses that online we can offer them, from Europe and non-Europe through our network. You are more than welcome to make me a list, but you need to act, because I don't have the information. These are the courses that we are missing because, our professors are on the war or they have moved away. Help me in order to help you. Make me a list and I will try my best through my network to offer these courses in English online. Not all of them myself, but, the people that I know. Okay, but I need, something from you, and I will try to press, the European Union or, our network, because that's why we are here. All right. So please, the faster you act, the faster, I can help. Any other comments? So I think that we have, we have to close because we have overpassed, the slot that we have. But Galyna, I would like to thank you, for your presentation. And, I appreciate very much, this kind of bullets. What do you need? And I'm looking for your response as on behalf of our group here. Okay. Chariklia, the floor. We have one question from my colleague, Chariklia Ziraki. Chariklia, the floor is yours. You need, yes.
Hi, thank you. This was an amazing and really scary story to hear, but also very inspiring because at least in the hard sciences and linguistics, there are things we can do virtually. to help students if we have a structured curriculum. And language, I think, and linguistics is a skill we all need. And I think it may be worthwhile doing. And I think you'll find people who are retired from their regular job and they're ready to take a new task on and help and make this a better world. And I think this is an opportunity we can't let go. We must do something about this. Thank you. It was an amazing presentation, opened my eyes wide about what we can still do, even though I'm just a doctor in my field. Thank you very, very much. Very amazing.
Thank you very much, Chariklia. And I think now, listening Chariklia and my role in studying Greece, also I would like my country also, through studying Greece to offer, help to and communication to any student, any colleague that is under difficult situation. Okay, but we need your proposals. We need physics too. We need, this, what did we say? To practice our languages. We need, something concrete in order to start.
Yeah. Linguistics we can definitely do right away. Actually, there's funding for that from the European Union. So
yeah,
let me think about how we move on. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chariklia. Chariklia also lives, is a Greek that she lives in Israel. So we have something. Bracha, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to send my love to Galyna. I miss you. And to let you know how I appreciate the fact I was there in Zaporizhzhia about 5 years ago. So I know a little about the vicinity, about the area, and it came to me in a very personal way when this war started and how it's going on. I just wanted to mention how much I appreciate the fact that you're managed under these circumstances, and I really can't imagine what you all have been through to continue to do your work, to continue with projects, to continue initiating things and not letting go, because I know how difficult it is, especially that you all have dispersed in various countries. Not everyone is still there, and for those that are there, even more. I keep getting messages inviting us to take part in various initiatives. So I really just wanted to mention how much I appreciate it. Admire, not appreciate.
Yes, I also admire my colleague who are staying in Zaporizhzhia. Yes, and probably you have seen that, like they are now initiating to Scopus conferences. This is about what science doing. Generally, science is keeping us, and connecting us. So this is so they are initiating to online Scopus conferences and in the universities. So they are trying to keep all infrastructure alive. They're working with the students, so it's working with the schools. It's important, and you see, when colleagues working in Zaporizhzhia, you understand that you need to help them more from here. So this is how it works.
Thank you, Galyna. Thank you, everyone, for your presence. And I'm looking for your reaction, both of you, Galyna and Katerina, in order to move to more concrete actions, because this is what we should do. Thank you, and stay safe, all of you. Bye.
Thank you, Kostas.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much.